ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ರಾಮಾಯ ರಾಮಭದ್ರಾಯ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರಾಯ ವೇಧಸೆ ರಘುನಾಥಾಯ ನಾಥಾಯ ಸೀತಾಯ ಪತಯೇ ನಮಃ. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 56 of Aranya Kanda. In the previous chapters, we saw Ravana, after snatching Sita away from her hut in the absence of Rama and Lakshmana, brought her to Lanka and showed her his whole riches, his power, the people who fall under his feet, and all the greatness and mightiness that he is having, with the assumption that Sita will fall for such things. However, hearing these words, Vaidehi, though still distressed, ceased to tremble and placed a blade of grass between herself and Ravana. This is a very interesting aspect in the Ramayana. Why did she put a blade of grass? She did not even have ever looked at Ravana at all. That's what later Ramayana goes on saying. She had never looked at the face of Ravana. She put a blade of grass in front of him because till in the whole of previous chapter he was showing his might, his power, his richness, his capabilities, his abilities, the people who fall for him, and his 1,000 women. But after showing all those greatness, Sita simply compared him to a small blade of grass, that saying that you are just equal to this. Because all this richness, everything can perish at any moment, nothing will remain. Your own capability is just equivalent to this blade of grass. That is what exactly she meant by putting a blade of grass in front of him and addressing to that blade of grass as if she is addressing to Ravana. She is addressing to that blade of grass, and she went on to say, King Dasharatha, the indestructible rampart of justice, whose pity brought his renown, had a son Raghava, famed in the three worlds, that virtuous one, possessed of powerful arms and large eyes, is my God and my Lord. It is he, that hero born in the house of Ikshvaku, illustrious, possessing shoulders like unto a lion, who with his brother Lakshmana will rob you of your life. Had he have you had you laid violent hands on me in this presence, that means in case if you try to abject her in the presence of Rama, he would have compelled you to refrain and would have slain you in a single combat. Instead of that, what he did was he snatched her away in the absence of Rama. Even like he slew Hara himself in Janasthana, those titans of grim visage, whom you do extol me, valiant though they be, would be deprived of their power in Raghava's presence. All those thousands of demons which the Ravana had shown that they belong to him and they are extremely powerful will all be deprived of their power in Raghava's presence. As serpents yield up their poison before Suparna the Garuda, those golden shafts, loosed from the string of Rama's bow, would pierce their bodies as the Ganga bears away her banks. You, though you may not be slain by Asuras or gods so far, yet now that you have incurred the fury of Raghava, you will not escape alive. You have but a short time to live. Raghava will compass your end. That life which you deem impossible to lose is as a beast bound to a sacrificial stake. If Rama lets fall on your glance, on you his glance, inflamed with ire, then you will instantly be consumed by the fire. O Titan, as Mamata of by Rudra, He who is able to bring down the moon from the skies and destroy it or dry up the ocean is assuredly able to deliver Sita. Your life, your prosperity, your being and faculties are forfeit. Lanka, bereft of its inhabitants, will be left desolate through your fault. Nay, this outrage will bring you nothing but misfortune. O you who, in the absence of my Lord, did bear me away by force, never more will you live, will you know felicity. My illustrious Lord, accompanied by his brother, depending on his own energy, does not fear to live in the Dandaka forest. Your prowess, your strength, your arrogance, and your presumptions will all be wiped out under the rain of his shafts in battle. When the hour appointed by destiny for the destruction of beings is at hand, they become mad under its sway. My objection precedes you precedes your end and that of the Titans and of those dwelling in the inner apartments. As an untouchable may not approach the sacred altar furnished with ladles, the vessels of worship at the time of sacrifice, so the legitimate spouse of one fixed in virtue, faithful to his vows, may not be approached by a sinner such as you, O lost of the Titans. In fact, the caste system that is existing in India is highly discredited, is highly disregarded worldwide, saying that it is equivalent to the class system that is existing in the West. Remember, the caste system has its own speciality. Why do we really born? Some of us do born in a very rich family, having all kind of richness. Some of us born in a highly intellectual family. Some of us born in a ordinary family. Some of us do born in a meager families where there is not even enough food to eat. Some of us do born to idiot parents. Some of us do born in such a place like say for example middle east certain places like syria and others where there is so much of violence, so much of terrorism, so much of warlike situation that is happening and people are dying at every moment. Why do these things happen in the world? Why not we all live in an equal common equal area, equal level, at equal way? Remember, the equality do not exist. Equality does exist in getting the opportunity. Getting the opportunity, that is an equality that is existing, but not in terms of the birth. By birth, we all do have some kind of an inequality. Some of us do born with privileges, silver spoon in mouth. Some of us do born without having nothing to eat. Why do these things happen? The Indian spirituality or Indian Shastras, the Bharatiya Sanatana Parampara explains here saying that it is all because of your past karmas. It is all because of your past karmas. But what about the opportunity? The opportunity for everybody is to rise. But what happens in reality is different. In reality, when someone try to rise from their position with which they have born, there are people who are there to pull them down, not allowing them to rise. Whereas there are people who are at the top, considering themselves as belonging to the upper caste. They try to push those people down, not allowing them to come to that their level. This do happen in the world of humans. People are there to pull you, people are there to push you. But the opportunity for everybody is only to rise. This has been assured by the God, by the Lord Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked Krishna, everyone would like to rise. What if someone is unable to engage, unable to achieve their required, achieve their goal, and if they fail in this life and before achieving the goal, if they die, what is going to happen? When Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, leave it to me. It is my responsibility. It is my bounden duty. I always look to see to it that everyone will rise and one day will get united with me. That is the ultimate goal for every human being. It may happen in two, three lives, or it may happen in thousands or millions of lives. He will give every opportunity, though being born through the low or high, whatever it is. Even such people who consider themselves belonging to the upper caste, even those riches, even those people who are born as princes, they do often fall, because everyone who is right away up here at the top will have to fall, because there is nothing to rise above that. There is a way to rise above that, but they don't realize how to rise above that. There are only very few people like Gautama Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama Buddha, who was born princes. He rised above that and he became the Buddha. Rama, Krishna, they were born as princes. They rised above that and they become equivalent to the God. But there are many who born at that level, they simply only fall back to the down and again start rising up. So this rising and falling keeps happening, and that's what constitutes our caste system. So here, when she says that there is an like an untouchable, she is saying someone who has done the greatest sin, like Ravana, who cannot even touch Sita, who is not because of her caste, but because of her high quality that she has. In spite of Ravana showing her all the richness, at the end of it, she says, I still love my Lord. And remember, my once my Lord comes here, you will going to meet the end of your life. And such is her quality. And with her quality, she stays at a higher level. And with the similar bad, evil qualities, Ravana becomes an untouchable here. So please note, the caste system is only an indication for you what is the starting point for an individual, and from where one can either rise or one can fall. Generally, for people at the lower caste, they have all opportunity to rise, which they have to struggle. Nothing will comes in a plate for them. If something is given in the plate, like what the government is giving, ultimately it may not really result in their rise. Instead, they may even fall from their current position also. At the same time, for the people who are in the upper caste, for them also nothing comes in the plate. They still have to struggle themselves to rise above that. Otherwise, they may even fall from their current position also. And in the next birth, they might even born as a Chandala. How would a royal swan sporting amid the tufts of lotuses with her mate concern herself with a cormorant on the bank, bind or destroy this insentient body? I have neither desire to preserve it nor my life, O Titan, for I will never submit to dishonor. Here, Sita is clearly saying she herself is always dedicated to Rama, whereas let her body be fall. Because we all think about this body itself is me. No, I am different from this body. And this body may be disfigured, and it may be attacked, it may even be raped by anybody. Remember, for all those rape victims, an individual can never be raped. It is only their body that can be raped by a guy who is overcoming them. And being unable to protect their body may get yielded for that. And because of that reason, they may suffer. But the true self of an individual can never even be touched. And that continues to remain as self, but continues to remain as divine and pure, and that can never be spoiled. What is spoiled is only the body. Like we wear a soiled cloth, the body may get spoiled, but the inner Atma he always remain pure and divine. And that lady or whoever has undergone that rape or any such victim continues to remain herself as pure in her soul. After speaking thus in her wrath, causing the blood to freeze, Vaidehi became silent, and Ravana answered her in menacing tones, saying she certainly had hurt his ego deeply. Reflect well, O lovely princess. If you do not yield to me within the period of next 12 months, my cooks will shall cut you into pieces for my morning repast, for my morning breakfast. Having spoken thus, Ravana, the challenger of his enemies, exceedingly wroth, addressed those female titans in these words: You terrible demons of ferocious aspect, who subsist on flesh and blood, do yourself instantly crush the pride of this woman. When he had said this, those monsters of fearful aspects, joining hands, surrounded Maithili, and Ravana commanded those women formidable to look upon, who, walking, struck the earth with such a force that it shook. He says, Do yourself take this mightily to the center of the Ashoka grove, and there encircling her mount, guard over her secretly, and sometimes my menaces, and at others by soft speech, seek in every way to break her will, as one would a female elephant. Thus commanded by Ravana, those Titan women, taking hold of Maithili, dragged her to the Ashoka grove, which was planted with trees covered with flowers of every kind and many fruits, able to satisfy every desire, where birds disported themselves in love. And as the gazelle in the mid of tigresses, Sita, the daughter of Janaka, her limbs giving way under her despair, fell under the sway of those titans. Like a timid antelope taken in a snare, Maithili, the daughter of Janaka, overwhelmed with fear and grief, could find no relief, and threatened by those terrible monsters, the princess of Mithila, unable to rest, remembering her lord and beloved brother in law, under the weight of terror and sorrow, swooned away. Thus ended chapter 56 of Aranya Kanda in Ramayana. In fact, as per the Ramayana, as long as Sita was in captive under Ravana, she did not even look at any of those things, any particular part of Lanka. She did not even consume the food. She did not even drink water. She did not even change the clothes. She continued to remain in the same soiled cloth with which Ravana objected her, because she refused to use anything that belongs to Ravana. But how then she could able to survive? Because in a distress, it is strongly believed in the Sanatana Sampradaya, the gods will always going to help. There is also a part of Ramayana that is not been mentioned over here in this book, wherein it is believed that Indra came there and gave her some divine potion, and because of that reason, she was neither feeling hungry nor feeling any thirsty. Whatever it is just relief to the people, saying that whenever you are in distress, there are divine beings who are ready to help you. Never lose your heart. Most important, never give up your effort, and never ever going to give your life itself by committing a suicide, because in all those kind of a distresses there is a time limit beyond which that distress will also pass away like the clouds. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, Tvamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.